Today, we uncover the gripping story of two brothers whose lives were shaped by the harsh realities of the streets. Their journey was marked by heartbreak, a thirst for vengeance, and the consequences of a world that failed them. This is the story of Kevin and Reese Shoma, aka Sluey and Young Sluey, two brothers connected not only by blood, but the dangerous streets they walked. Born and raised in the heart of East London, Kevin and Reese Shoma, sons of Congolese immigrants, spent their early years in Newham. Despite their humble beginnings, the brothers would soon find themselves caught in the underworld of crime. Their roots were grounded in the rich culture of their Congolese heritage, but as they grew up, the harsh realities of their environment began to shape their lives, moving from Cranberry Lane in between Canning Town and Westham to Dagenham when Kevin was 14. But little did they know, their path was about to spiral into darkness. Kevin, the older brother, got tangled up with the wrong crowd, even after the family moved to Dagenham. He found himself drawn back to Newham, particularly Beckton, where he became entrenched in the area's street culture. It was here that Sluey was introduced to prominent figures like Froggy and became a key figure in one of East London's original gangs, ESF. As often happens, Reese, the younger brother, followed in his footsteps, and together they earned a notorious reputation as stick-up kids. They would rob drug dealers for cash and drugs, a dangerous game that ultimately led them down a dark path of deadly consequences. In the midst of all the chaos, Sluey found an outlet for his pain: music. The streets may have taken much from him, but they also gave him the creative spark to rise above. Kevin channeled his life into his music, rapping about the raw realities he knew all too well. With songs like Praying That It Works, Sluey's unique sound struck a chord with listeners everywhere. He wasn't just speaking for himself, he was the voice for all those stuck in the same struggle. For Kevin, the music was his escape, but even as his fame grew, the shadow of danger was always lurking close behind.
Hey, yo, Sluey!
As Sluey's music career took flight, disaster struck. Sluey was arrested, sentenced, and sent to prison, leaving Reese to navigate life without his older brother. But even behind bars, Kevin's absence didn't stop the Shoma name from rising. Reese, now adopting the name Young Sluey, began to carve out his own reputation. No longer just Kevin's little brother, Reese was making his own mark both on the streets and in the music scene. Reese was known for his wit and charm, always the one to make people laugh. But behind that smile, few saw the darker side of him. With Kevin gone, Reese sank deeper into the dangerous world that had already gripped them both. But everything changed on March 29, 2018. While in Plumstead, South London, recording music, Reese found himself caught in a violent altercation and was stabbed in the neck. This wasn't just another random act of violence, it was personal. Reese wasn't just a name in the streets, he was family to so many, and his death sent shockwaves through the entire community. Reese passed away from his injuries, leaving a hole that no one could fill. Heartbroken, Kevin was consumed by rage. His brother, his flesh and blood, was taken from him, and Kevin vowed revenge. Driven by grief and anger, Sluey and his friends set out, determined to avenge his brother's death. Armed with a shotgun, they were ready for what they thought was justice. What Sluey didn't realize at the time was that the police were tracking his every move. Something he has spoken about in interviews, explaining how unaware he was of the surveillance surrounding him. He was stopped by armed officers, and in an instant, his pursuit of revenge led him straight into the arms of the law. Sluey was arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison, another crushing blow for him and the Shoma family. With Reese gone and Kevin's future uncertain, he was left behind bars, denied the opportunity to attend his brother's funeral. The prison refused him access, stating that he was high risk and he was forced to grieve in isolation, far from his family and the place where his brother was laid to rest. This was the painful end to the tragic story of two brothers who had once dreamed of leaving the streets behind, only to be consumed by them. Today, there's a new chapter in the Shoma story. After serving his 12-year sentence, Sluey, now a free man, has emerged from behind bars and has been making his way through the media circuit. With a story that's as raw as his music, Sluey is opening up in interviews, shedding light on his past, his regrets, and his hopes for the future. But while Kevin may be out of prison, the memories of his brother, Reese, lives on. The impact of their story remains, and Kevin continues to carry the legacy of the showman name with him, both as a reminder of the past and a commitment to making a better future. It's not just Kevin honoring Reese's legacy. Potter Paper, a close friend of Reese's, has also started a label, 36 The Label, named after young Sluey's other street name. This label is a testament to Reese's lasting impact, keeping his spirit alive in the streets and the music. The streets may have taken so much from Sluey, but they haven't taken his drive, his purpose, or his ability to rise again. And as the story of the Showman brothers continue to unfold, their impact on East London, the music scene, and beyond will never be forgotten.